The Nintendo Switch 2 can run original Nintendo Switch games. Everyone knows that. But here's the thing, some of these games actually feature free updates. Meaning that if you insert them in the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 and download the update, you'll get to experience them in brand new ways. I decided to grab the list of games that feature those free updates and played them on both the OG Switch and Switch 2 to see what's changed. I'm not gonna lie, I almost forgot ARMS was a thing. I played this a bit when it first came out in 2017, but this game never really did it for me. It's okay, I suppose. According to the Nintendo website, playing ARMS on a Switch 2 will improve the visuals and the frame rate, and the game will now feature HDR support. Well, I'm happy to report that this is the case. ARMS looks a bit crisper on Switch 2 with its higher resolution, and the frame rate seems to remain at 60 FPS no matter what, which is great. Playing in 4-player split screen is where the game benefits the most from the upgrade. ARMS used to run at 30 FPS on the original Switch, which is alright, but I mean, take a look at the Switch 2 version now. Ho ho ho, it's night and day. It looks so good now. Too bad it's still the game ARMS, and the game is pretty meh. Even with the better resolution and frame rate, I don't see myself replaying this one. Big Brain Academy is a fun little game where you have to solve puzzles, and they start easy and they become quite difficult. Basically, this game will show you if you're smart or not. Playing this game on Switch 2 is not going to improve the experience whatsoever, because this game was already running perfectly on Switch 1. I mean, look at those graphics. Even my freaking GameCube could run this game well. There is a new feature, however, and it's game share support. Basically, if you boot up the game on Switch 2 and enable game share, you'll be able to invite other players locally to join you even if they do not own the cartridge themselves. That's kinda cool, especially as it allows you to play with 4 players. And you can do that locally with Switch OG owners or online with Switch 2 owners, and it works really well. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is the next game on the list of supported software. And this one is originally a Wii U title, believe it or not. Anyways, the visuals have been optimized for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it now supports HDR. The game actually looked pretty good on the OG Switch, so seeing the differences is a bit difficult for me. I guess that if you're playing it on a huge 4K TV, then you might see the differences. But all in all, this is not a game that really needed the upgrade in my opinion. Thankfully, graphics are not the only thing that was upgraded. Game share is now supported for this title, allowing you to share it locally with a friend that doesn't own it, and this one also supports online sharing, meaning that you can play it with your friends from all over the world. I do have to admit that the Switch 1 player will have a blurrier experience using game share, as you can see here. I suppose this is because the game is being streamed from the Switch 2 to the Switch 1. I also experience a bit of lag with my game share sessions, so be wary of that. Next up is Clubhouse Games, a compilation of classic board games from all around the world. This game is pretty chill and fun to play with people in the same room as yourself, but now you can use game share to play it locally or online with only one single cartridge. Considering this game is a collection of classic family night board games, it is the perfect title for a cozy gaming night with your friends and family while using game chat to talk with them. Playing checkers has never been that fun and simple. Game Builder Garage is next, and this software is meant to teach you about programming and coding, but without having to type in a single line of code. You'll be inserting and connecting some little nodes, and eventually you'll be able to create some experiences and games for yourself. But you know what? The user interface was always a bit tedious to navigate using the joysticks. And well, with the Nintendo Switch 2 and its Joy-Con 2, you can now use mouse controls, which makes creating games way faster and actually way more enjoyable. it's a pretty good addition to this game, and you can even use both Joy-Con 2s at once for some dual mouse cursor action. Now this is a big brain moment. It's kind of weird that New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe was the game chosen for the free updates, as to me, it's a pretty decent looking game already, especially considering it's a Wii U game originally. Anyways, this one features optimized visuals, and well, I couldn't really tell the difference, to be honest. Looking at them side by side, I have trouble seeing what was updated and what was actually improved. I did notice that the game loads a bit faster on the Switch too, which is actually a cool thing, but the loading times were not that long to begin with. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet was probably the game that needed a free update the most in my opinion, because this game runs like complete crap on Nintendo Switch. It's a buggy mess, it's kind of ugly, and the frame rate is gross. I mean, take a look at this. This is unacceptable in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, the game is actually pretty fun, and you cannot go wrong with Pokémon, but in terms of performance and optimization, this one's a total mess. Thankfully, the Nintendo Switch 2 update is now here and improves pretty much everything. The frame rate now runs at a constant 60 FPS, which is really soft on the eyes. This is what I expected Pokémon Scarlet and Violet to look like on Switch 1. But alas, it took a brand new console generation to achieve this. I also noticed that there are more Pokémon that appear on screen at once, allowing you to fight and catch even more. As everything is so smooth now, I did find myself spending way more time in the grass fields trying to catch every Pokémon I encountered. Obviously, it's still a buggy Pokémon game and the graphics are still not looking that good. But I mean, at this point, this is what we're used to from the Pokémon games, sadly. Hopefully, Pokémon Legends ZA will look a bit better. But from what we've seen so far, I don't really think so. Next up is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This game originally looked and played very well on Switch 1, but there were some parts here and there where the game did stutter a bit, especially in Bowser's Fury during the nighttime when there is lots of rain, thunder, and other environmental effects. Playing on Switch 2 pretty much fixes all of those issues and keeps the game running at a constant 60 frames per second. Even when there's tons of things on screen at once. Personally, this was never something that really bugged me that much, but knowing that it is fixed now makes me happy anyways. Both those games can be entirely played in co-op using one single cartridge, locally or online, which is a neat addition. Next up is Super Mario Odyssey. And well, this game actually looks and plays really well, so I'm not sure if it really needed a patch. But hey, we have it now, so let's check it out. Apparently, the visuals have been improved and the game now supports HDR. As I was playing the game casually, I really didn't notice the difference that much in kingdoms that don't have much going on. But when I made my way to the Metro Kingdom, it was night and day. When you look at New Donk City in the distance on Switch 1, there's aliasing all over the place and the inhabitants are all running at like 10 frames per second in the background. Compare this to the Nintendo Switch 2 version and everything looks so much better. Those city folks are now moving at 60 FPS so they don't look out of place anymore. It really seems like this update improved the game in areas that feature lots of polygons all at once, and that's actually a really great thing. Game share is also supported, meaning that once again you can play this game with a friend with only one cartridge, locally or all over the world via online. One player controls Mario and the other controls Cappy, and it works alright. It's not the most engaging multiplayer experience, but it's nice that it was included nonetheless. As much as I loved playing Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, it was pretty easy to tell that it had been downgraded to work on the classic OG Switch. The graphics were a bit blurry, the frame rate had issues when playing in bigger environments, especially on Hyrule Field. as you moved around the world, the game always seemed to stutter for a bit before eventually recovering its frame rate, up until you moved again. This was very noticeable, and it really gave me some headaches at some points, meaning that I couldn't play this one for hours at a time, which was a big shame. Thankfully, the extra power of the Switch 2 will come to the rescue and make this game look even better. The game is optimized for 4K displays and looks much better now, and the frame rate has been greatly improved. Sadly, it is not perfect yet. There are still moments where the game looks like it's stuttering a bit, but they don't seem to happen often anymore. The game no longer gives me headache, and I actually wish I had experienced it on the Switch 2 in the first place. So if you were on the fence about buying this game and you have the Switch 2, well, just go ahead and do it. It's worth it. Zelda Link's Awakening featured the exact same issues Echoes of Wisdom suffered from. If you move too fast in big environments, the frame rate is having a panic attack and starts to stutter. It keeps jumping from 60 FPS to 30 FPS, which is super distracting and annoying. Well, thankfully, Link's Awakening seems to have received the same kind of treatment as Echoes of Wisdom, meaning that those frame rate hiccups are mostly gone. They can still happen from time to time, but during my experiment, I think it only happened like once or twice, which is a godsend. The resolution has also been improved, but I think it's less noticeable on this one, as the game didn't look as good as Echoes of Wisdom in the first place. All in all, this free update just gives us a lot of improvements, which is neat. A couple days ago, out of nowhere, a brand new Splatoon spin-off game was announced for Switch 2. And while that is cool, what interests us today is the reveal of a free update for Splatoon 3 that would improve the visuals of the game and improve the frame rate in areas that really needed it. The plaza ran like complete doo-doo on Nintendo Switch OG, and now, well, it runs at a constant 60 FPS and looks better than ever. The bump in resolution actually makes the game more visually pleasing without giving an unfair advantage to Switch 2 owners fighting against Switch OG players. It's a great free update, period. As you can see, this first batch of free updates is pretty useful and satisfying, but there's still way more to go, I'm sure of that. I can see Nintendo drop a few here and there every month, and I can even see third parties join the fray eventually. Like for example, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, it runs so-so on Switch OG. And with a sequel on the way this winter, well, I bet this first title will get a free update, making it run at 60 FPS as well. But you know what? Only time will tell. In the meantime, check out those videos that I made. They are pretty cool, and I'm sure you will enjoy them a lot. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.